Welcome again, guys, to another episode of Finance by Speng. Our topic for today is budgeting. So, how many of us know how to budget, or how many of us budgets correctly? Most people budgets lives within their head, but is not actually practical or is not applied in real life. Today, we'll show you how to basically build your budget and how to stick to it in order to control your financial situation. So, what is budgeting? A budget is basically a plan for using your money in a way that best meets your needs and your wants. So why is budgeting important? Budgeting is basically important because without budgeting, it is way harder to build your wealth, or it's way harder to keep your money. So even though budgeting alone will not get you rich, it will definitely help you with maintaining your riches or maintaining your wealth. A budget actually also helps you to it helps you to spend your money wisely. It teaches you to live within your income, and also it helps you to build your money management skills when you're pursuing your financial goals. Budgeting can definitely help you to manage your money better than if you were actually just freelancing or just going spending based on what your mind tells you. A budget is actually like a guideline by the way of spending your money. So once you stick to your budget, you will definitely see improvement in your financial situation. So now we're gonna look at the steps of building a successful budget. So step one states set your goals or set your financial goals. What this basically means is the first thing that you're gonna do when you decide to build your budget is decide what you want to achieve with your money and give yourself a basic time frame. Meaning by when you're going to set your goals, ensure that they're practical goals, they're real goals that will fit within your income, and ensure that they have a specific time frame. So that means you have a deadline. That helps you to be more disciplined, and it also helps you to project and focus on one thing at a time. So step two is to estimate your income. This states record the income you will receive for the month. So do not if you're expecting a bonus but you're not certain, do not include that. Include whatever you're sure that you will receive from any investments, or whatever incentives that you receive are the amount that you normally receive on your paycheck. Do not include anything that you're not certain about. So step three, this states plan for savings and expenses. Put aside money for savings, emergency, fixed costs, and variable costs. What this is saying is when you're budgeting, you're gonna budget for your savings if you're a saver, or your investments if you're an investor. You're supposed to also put aside money for miscellaneous activities or emergencies, things that are unexpected that can occur at any time. It is wise to budget for, say, an income cut or for a sickness or accidents, because these things are unexpected and they can occur at any time. So once you have money put aside for that, that is that is how you actually go about building a good and successful budget. So the second part of step three is to put aside money for fixed costs and variable costs. So fixed costs are costs that are the same. You are certain about these costs, so you know exactly what these will cost you every month. So when you're planning your budget, these costs can be the same as the previous month. So variable costs, now these are cost that you're not certain about. Whenever you're in doubt about expenses, it is always better to overestimate than underestimate. For instance, utilities, groceries, and things of that nature, because you know that inflation and other things that can cause prices to go higher than the previous month. So for fixed expenses, you know the exact cost. For variable expenses, you know that these can change, so it's best to overestimate. Step four, track your spending. So after you've estimated what your monthly cost will be, you're gonna track your spending to see what you actually spent or what was the actual cost. So it states write down what you spent and compare it with your budget to see if there is any surplus or deficit. So perhaps you've created a budget estimating that you spend a certain amount of money. After the month has concluded and you've written down what you spent on, perhaps you see where you have spent more or you have spent less. The difference is a budget variant, and this is basically to see how practical your budget is or how realistic your budget actually is. Once this happens, if you've spent less, that means your budget was successful, and this is a way that you're saying, okay, we can continue like this moving forward. If not, and you've spent more, then you'll see what you need to adjust in your budget to see what expenses is best to cut or what you could spend less on. Step 5 states review and adjust your budget, and it said check your budget each month and make changes where necessary. So once you've created a budget, it is not actually finished there. You have to continuously update your budget to your lifestyle or to your expectations. So perhaps every month you're falling behind on your bills or you're seeing where you're ending with a surplus, then you can revise your budget to perhaps increase your savings or anything like that. But perhaps every month now you're ending with a deficit. So in this case, you'll have to adjust your budget to see what expenses you can cut or what you can spend less on in order to end with a surplus instead of a deficit. So budgeting is simple, but it does take discipline and it does take focus. So once you've learned how to successfully do a budget, this can definitely make your financial situation and your financial goals way easier to be attained. So right here on the board, we have 4 steps or 4 guidelines how to basically plan a successful budget. Step 1 is to carefully plan your budget. Your estimates must not be wild guesses, and your spending categories must cover all expenses. So this means your estimated income or your estimated expenses must be close or pinpoint. You see, it will be a bit harder to get the exact figure, but it should be close enough when you're spending your budget. So you must not be wild guesses or things that you think. You must actually do some research or do some backtrack to actually see what you received from the previous month or what you spent the previous month, so that when you're planning your budgets, your guesses should be realistic or close. So for your income, it is always best to actually underestimate, and for your expenses, it is best to overestimate. So even if you know something costs like probably 500, you could budgeted for 520 or 550, just to ensure that once it's time and you're checking back your expenses or your income, it is feasible. Step 2 is a good budget is practical and realistic. So after you've created your budget, it should be something that is easy to comply with. So it should be something that even if it's not exactly what you planned, it is close to what you've planned. Step 3 is a good budget should be flexible, because you will experience unexpected expenses and you will probably get into situation where you receive unexpected shifts in income as well as unexpected activities. So when you're planning a budget, a good budget should have a slot for emergencies or miscellaneous activities. And the last and final step is step 4, which states a good budget must be written and easily accessible. Don't try to keep the information in your head. So means that when you're planning your budget, do not create a mental budget, because you can get easily distracted or you can forget the information. A written budget that is easily accessible and is protected is easier to follow, and it is more it is more likely that you're able to follow step by step and keep better track of your expenses and your income. So these are the 4 basic steps of planning a successful budget. They're not hard, but it does require discipline. And in order for you to actually achieve your financial goal, a budget is 99% required. That is it for today. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the day.